Classic Restos is proudly brought to you by Shannons Insurance, where you can be a member of the Shannons Club. Pace Farm, the enjoyable egg. Hare and Forbes Machinery House. And Gun Lake Quarries. Well, I thought I'd bring you around 600 kilometres southwest of Sydney to show you a brand new and a very welcomed motoring museum on this week's episode of Classic Restos. As we motor along in the 74 Dodge Monaco on dirt roads in New South Wales, it's a far cry from where it was parked for many years in Ohio. We drive west to Deniliquin, New South Wales. Reaching the banks of the splendid Edward River, this waterway adorns the township of Deni, where around 8,000 people reside. And when you may think of Deniliquin as the home and party hub of the Deni Ute Muster, along with other great stuff in the town, all of a sudden something else comes along and is added to the mix. Welcome to the Depot Historic Collection.
The Depot Museum and Collection came out of a desire to have Rosie behind me here put on display and enjoyed by more than just a shed full of people. What you see when you come through the door is hopefully stuff that evokes memories. That's what we're aiming to do. There's a lot of local memorabilia. There's a lot of stuff that we've put around that do information and just generally resetting the scene, I suppose, from days gone by, that 40 to 50 to 60s. And not just motor vehicles, it's a collection of memorabilia and Elvis Presley and down to the lounge and dining area upstairs that many people have said, how do you get mum's lounge room upstairs? Yeah, the motor vehicles are sort of ranged from your Holdens, from the FX or the 1948 through to a couple of later vehicles in there, the last of the V8 Utes. There's American stuff, there's luxury vehicles, there's early years, there's a 1908 French vehicle here, a collection of fire engines, through to trucks and some of our buses and other people's buses from days gone by. I suppose that the personal side of the collection is that it reflects us history, it reflects days gone by. The aim was to honour those in the pioneers of transport, whether it be car or truck transport or buses, to put on display and explain the conditions they operated under. So that was to give an appreciation. One of the aims is to be able to get kids to come through and teach them about transport, teach them about history, and appreciate again that what their parents, grandparents, or great grandparents did to put the country on the map, so to speak.
Neville, what a privilege to come to Deniliquin and meet yourself and see what you've done here. It's outstanding.
Thank you, Fletch. It's a privilege to have you here.
Thank you. I can't help but notice some of the stuff from Lost in the 50s from everybody's mate Glenn Jennings, and I think there's a little part of us that all a bit sad that's gone, and you've got some of his stuff here which helps to keep that dream alive.
Yeah, we ended up over the period of his auction, and even prior to that, I brought a Delorean off Glenn when he found a better one, and we'd seen what he had there, and so when the auction came up, we took the opportunity to acquire some of his collection. It certainly took the labour out of putting a collection together ourselves, yep. And I think there was something like 3 semi-trailers and about 4 vans went up there and brought stuff back. So yeah, we were stoked to be able to get hold of it.
Well, you've got to blame him for the reason why I'm here, because he said, Fletch, you've got to get there. Neville has done wonderful things. You've got a fantastic team here as well. The building is all brand new, and I've got to say this, I find something exciting when I go somewhere and I get lost in it. And it's not just one building here. You open doors and and off you go. You walk through, you go into another section, and then you'll go up a staircase and down the other side, and then there's another staircase on the other side. And what you've done here, you've really nutted this out well.
Yeah, look, again, as you said, it's a great team. We've had a great team effort. I suppose I was responsible for a vision. They were responsible to put it together and make it work. The eye to detail and put stuff and where it had to go was that team. Look, we wanted to utilise every space. Every time someone, no matter where they went, they seen something new, and even down to decorating the stairways, so that with information from days gone by.
It's unbelievable. I think it's nice too, where it began with Rosie, the school bus, in mind. What an icon she is.
Yeah, Rosie's an icon. She's been in our family since '74. She's a '48 model. She's the oldest registered school bus in Australia, continually registered, and it's the pride of our fleet.
It's a good testament to the old Bedford product too, isn't it?
Oh yeah, like they don't build them like that anymore. Some people say thank God, but no, look, it's a pleasure to have it, and it gives a lot of satisfaction.
A truck driver told me many years ago, had a Bedford tipper, and he told me back in the 70s that Bedford's made a lot of guys a lot of money back in the day.
Oh yeah, look, my dad had, I think at one stage we had 9 Bedfords. Rosie's actually number 9, so she was number 9 of the Bedford fleet. So our whole fleet from when he started in 1951 through to 73, I think. No, 78 was the last Bedford we bought, and so it was the backbone of our business.
And the stories of these vehicles too, and I believe that they've got a soul, Neville. It's the conditions that these vehicles worked in at around this neck of the woods, 40-degree heat, floods. For decades, these things worked every day, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right. They were workhorses. It's as simple as that. Yeah, and Rosie would be at 45 degrees in summer, and she'd be operating in -5 in winter. On dirt roads back then. What takes a half an hour now could take 3 hours in those days with slogging through the mud. So yeah, look, it was, and that's what we're here for, is to honour that hard work that those pioneers did.
I think it's nice what you have done too, because obviously you're at the stage of your career too with the business where you can do this. 25, 30 years ago, forget it. You would have had so many other things going on. So now to be at this stage and to come up with this, it's endless. Wherever we look, we see signs, we see Bowsers. We've got a picnic set on the floor over there, as what you would have had back in the 50s, going out with the family on a Sunday afternoon. It's really endless what you've done.
Yeah, look, everyone, when they get to our age, my age, like to relive their youth, and I want to help people relive theirs, and that's what we're trying to do, is to recreate those histories, and whether it's of their youth or their parents' youth, it's just giving those memories and a talking point, and to see multi-generations coming through, and one generation explain to the other of how things were and how they worked. It's great. We've had a lady sit down upstairs and teaching a young girl how to knit. It's priceless.
Good on you, Neville. Well, you're certainly waving the flag for Deni, and it's not that far away, over the border into New South Wales. A nice couple of hour drive west of Albury. You're in a great spot. Keep up the great work, Neville. And I can just tell this is definitely stage one. It's going to be very, very interesting to see this unravel as to what you're going to do as things evolve down the track.
I'm very proud of what we've achieved so far, and as I say, we're not going to stop. We know that we've got to keep it fresh. We've got to keep things happening. So please come and have a look at what we've got today, and then hopefully you'll come back another day and see something different.
Good on you, Neville. Well done.
Thank you, Fletch.
The Mini Cooper S is a real classic. It won the Monte Carlo Rally 4 times, plus the Bathurst 500.
For us, it's like the Italian job every time we drive it. You know, Michael Caine racing through the streets of Turin.
The good thing is, Shannons really understand our passion.
That's why Shannons insure our classic, our daily drive, and now even our home.
Call Shannons on 13 46 46. Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts.
In 2020, why not consider a Detroit tour with Fletch? Detroit, the automotive epicenter. It will leave you gobsmacked. Imagine experiencing where automotive history on a grand scale began. Stay in fine accommodation, taking in some of the best museums and private car collections on the planet. Book your 2020 Detroit tour with Fletch. Here's a bloke that never minds coming to work. How are you, John?
I'm great, Fletch. How are you today?
Good, good, good. You're doing a great job here.
Oh, look, it's hard not to do a good job with this facility and the cars we've got in at Fletch. It's amazing.
This is the first section that you walk into when you arrive at the establishment. Tell us, what can we expect to see in here?
Well, you can expect to see a lot. The first thing probably going to get your attention when you walk in the door is our Delorean to your left-hand side. That's a heavy hitter, what we're calling in our collection. Everyone knows a Delorean. Ours is a 1981 model. But as you move down the row, you'll see a lot of different vehicles. We've got some custom builds there. We've got a lot of stock vehicles. We've got stuff from the 50s in America. We've got a 1908 French vehicle, which is the earliest vehicle in our collection, which is quite interesting to look at. But yeah, plenty of stuff, depending whether you're in a modified, stock, anything. It's something here for you.
You must get to work and think, wow, how Neville has done this. I mean, I know there's been part of a team as well, but the acquisition to collect everything, John.
Yes, certainly. I often get to work and get an email and what have we got coming now? Yeah. Good stories last week. We had a truckload. We had 3 57 Chevs turn up. The week before, I'd made the comment that we had no 57 Chevs, and 3 turned up.
Hey, that's where I'm going wrong. All I've got to do is put it out there. I need 3 of these, and next week they'll turn up.
Positive thoughts, Fletch. It just happens.
That's incredible. Now, John, from a personal standpoint, is there any particular item here that just means something special to you?
Look, I love all cars. I've been playing around with them for a lot of time, and, you know, people get caught into different marques, they're Ford, they're Holden, they're Chev, whatever. I love them all. I must say I'm pretty fond of a 1932 Ford pickup that we've got on loan here. I currently had that out on the weekend at an event, and it's a lot of fun to drive.
Okay, out into a section in between a section, and a whole new world awaits. The fire brigade section. There's one special truck here, but just give us a quick rundown here, John.
Righto, so we've got quite a few fire trucks here. Neville's quite fond of his fire trucks. I'm sure if he wasn't doing this, he would have been a firefighter. But we've got 4 out here. We've got some newer ones. We've got an Acco and a Volvo, plus a J2 Bedford, which, you know, were everywhere back in the day. But the real special one in our collection is the American La France we've got, which is, we believe is the only one in the country. Come over to Australia in 2011. Wherever it goes, it's a massive hit.
Can't you tell the American engine?
Yeah, look, they're very unique, completely different to what was happening over here. And, you know, the Americans take a lot of pride in how they build their vehicles.
And the trusty Australian, the products that we had here in Australia, the Bedford and the Acco, we've got a FL7 Volvo over the back. Of course, they're all great trucks. But then you see the thing from the United States of America, and it kind of just stands head and shoulders in many ways above the others. There's more opulent features. It's the design. It's a bit more heavy duty. They just went the extra mile with most things, didn't they?
They certainly did. Just bigger and better, I believe, is how they did it.
Yeah. Their fires must have been bigger over there.
Well, quite possibly.
Okay, now give us a rundown on that particular American engine. What's the year of that, John?
I believe it's an 81, going off the data we have available. Actually did serve as a Texas fire engine when it was first built. Was then sold to a volunteer fire department in the Bronx, a volunteer aircraft firefighting unit. So
into the Bronx?
In the Bronx, yeah.
Imagine if it could talk.
Yeah, I'd have a few stories to say.
I reckon. When you say 81, that's another thing too that the Americans did with their styling. They got a good design and they stuck with it. You've only got to look at their little postal vans that aren't the most attractive vehicle, but they're reliable and they run well and they run for years and years. Why change the design? The thing keeps on working. Let's just keep on manufacturing that. That engine there, to me, looks like late 60s.
Look, certainly the design from the late 60s, but through to 81, still works.
I was 16 when I first saw her. Loved her utterly. She was so sweet, so perfect, still is. She's got a whopping great two-stroke engine under that gorgeous aerodynamic body. Insurance? Well, Shannons, of course.
No one knows your passion like Shannons. That's why we offer special limited usage rates and even club plate cover. So call Shannons on 13 46 46. Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts.
Hare and Forbes Machinery House has been family owned and operated for over 85 years, and it's easy to see why. Planning on welding? Look at these welding tables and clamps, air compressors and different air tools, sandblasting cabinets, through to spray guns. Everyone is welcome at Machinery House. There are competitive freight rates around Australia, and you can buy online at machineryhouse.com.au. So remember, Hare and Forbes has the range. And if you own a classic, it just has to be insured with the best, and that is Shannons. Why not pick up the phone and give Shannons a call for a quote and a chat on 134646. And if you haven't checked out the Shannons Club, the Shannons productions there are very, very good indeed. You have Shannons Club TV with Mark Osler and Dr. John, various people with the Driven series, and Shane Jacobson with End of an Era. And if all of that is not enough for you, there's over 320 episodes of Classic Restos there awaiting you as well. For more information, visit shannons.com.au. Moving through into another section now. I love these Holdens here, John.
Yes, there's quite a few of them here. We are big fans of Holdens here at the depot, and Neville sort of started out collecting his Holdens. FCs especially, you may have noticed there's a few of those poking around.
I think more so now with the way it's gone with Holden in this country, there's a little bit more sentiment, I think, with people. There's a lot of sentimental attachment with these cars. I think they mean even more to a lot of people.
Certainly. A big shame what happened with the line, but yeah, we've had a few people starting to come through that are getting a bit more nostalgic about the Holdens, coming through looking at ones that they may have had or would like to have, but unfortunately never got a chance. So.
What are some of your favourites in here?
Look, I'd be lying if I didn't say I had quite a soft spot for the GDR XU1 we've got here. It's not one of our collection, it's on loan from a local family, but it's numbers matching, okay, very nice example of a GDR, and goes really well.
What about that Pommy Vauxhall there? That was never made for Aussie, mate, was it?
No, sorry, I can't do the accent, but no, it wasn't. That one's actually got an interesting story. I don't know if you noticed in the back, it's got the coal gas producer. So that one's actually plumbed up, will run on coal gas.
And we look on the line and we've got the Mustang there with Holden's next to it. It's the variants here. It's a 64.5 Mustang just shoved there.
Yeah, look, that was one that was picked up because Neville's wife Debbie was quite fond of that one. But a beautiful car to drive, air conditioning, all the mod cons from, the mid-60s.
It's just amazing the history again, even the Furphy's Farm water cart here. Out west here in New South Wales, parts of Victoria, Furphy's was such a prominent product from back in the time, wasn't it?
It sure was. As you know, that's from Shepparton, which is not that far away from here, so we do find a lot of them on farms, but they went all over the world, as you would well know.
Unbelievable condition. We look through the centre of the range, what we've got here. There's just so much to look at here. You've got to make the trip out here. It's really astounding. We look through the range, the 73, the Brazilian, the Combi.
Yes.
That's in good nick.
Yes, it's quite impressive. It's even better on the inside if you've had a look through the window.
It's got so much stuff in there, John. I don't know how it's got the power to motivate itself up the road.
It drives quite well. And just a thing if you wanted a quiet weekend escape.
It's so nicely done.
Yes, look, that's one that popped up at an auction and Neville had to have it. We went in the space of a month of having 0 combis to now 3 combis.
The way Neville's going, he's going to end it with a few more than that.
Yeah, sure. We just, we've got to that stage now that things are finding us.
That is just so good. And the way that history is showing too, we're losing these places. Places like that you've just created here now, we're actually losing. It is so refreshing and so welcoming to now see this collection here in Deniliquin. I can't express that strong enough. It's just so good to see, John.
Look, it is a shame that, as you say, some are closing around the countryside. So we're very proud of what we're doing here and glad to share it with the automotive enthusiast.
Okay, we've got some trucks up the back there. Louisville, got a Dodge. Local trucks, where's the history there?
Yes, so some of them are local trucks. Others have been repainted to look like local vehicles. One of the big things we have driving the depot is the local transport history, which is what actually kicked off the whole idea. All of those 4 trucks down the back did belong to the one gentleman who was part of the Pirtles group, a big part of the team. Unfortunately, he passed before he got to see this project open to the public, but that's why we've got those 4 vehicles down there as a tribute to Mick. So.
Unbelievable stuff. John, I want to thank you for your time on today's episode. You're an information source, and it's a wonder this bloke doesn't have his bed here. I could think of worse places to stay, as I said earlier in today's interview. So, John, thank you very much for your time, mate, and walking around and showing just some of this amazing collection. So in the meantime, John, thank you once again, mate.
Thanks for coming, Fletch. Great to have you here.
And now it's time for Casey and the Cadillac room. How you doing, Casey?
I'm well, Fletch. How are you?
Good. What an opulent 5-star part of the establishment. It's upstairs. It looks fantastic. The Cadillac room. We could almost be anywhere in the United States right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a magnificent room, very classy, elegant, timeless, with the black and white decor. Yeah, it's beautiful.
You're in charge of this part, right?
This is my section of the building. I'm very pleased to be on board and, yeah, taking it on.
This part of the facility absolutely screams out to car clubs. It's worth the trip. Your car clubs come here, have your meetings, check the museum out, of course, but to stay in Deniliquin 1 or 2 nights, but also at a corporate level as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, the audio-visual tech that we have in this room is just beyond belief. The conferences we've had so far have just been blown away by the facility. So yeah, definitely a corporate level as well. But yeah, car clubs, meetings and social gatherings, it's perfect.
This place is just so cool. And when things go all wobbly and out of hand at the end of the night, there's even a dance floor up the end there. What's going on there?
Absolutely. Can't have a function room without a dance floor.
You guys have thought of everything. As we've said before in this episode, this whole collection, this museum here in Deni is really 5-star. It is just a place that you have to come along and experience, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we're so proud of what we've been able to achieve so far. The feedback from everyone through has just been so positive. So, yeah, very, very proud.
Well, Casey, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. We just had to end on this because this is brilliant, and you keep up your fantastic work here. I can only see this place going forward, and as we mentioned earlier in the interview on the episode today as well, it's good to see a place like this starting up rather than closing. Again, Casey, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Fletch.
I hope you've really enjoyed this week's episode of Classic Restos, the Depot Historic Collection here in Deniliquin, New South Wales. If you can make the drive out here, you will not be disappointed. As I say at the end of every episode of Classic Restos, no matter where you're watching the show from, until next week, please ride and drive safe. I'm Fletch, and I thank you very much for watching. Yeah, thanks for visiting. Shut the door on the way out. You can like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/ClassicRestosTV and watch catch-up episodes at shannons.com.au. Classic Restos is proudly brought to you by Shannons Insurance, where you can be a member of the Shannons Club. Pace Farm, the enjoyable egg. Hare and Forbes Machinery House. And Gun Lake Quarries.